Okay, good morning, everyone. Myself, Gaurav Batra, founder of CyberFrat, and this initiative, the call which we have scheduled today, you must have seen that past this has never happened. So this new program we call CXO Connect. So CXO Connect means the CyberFrat has been defined into three core areas where we are doing our webinars and sessions. So the first is the emerging technologies, second is cybersecurity, and then risk management. So either of these core areas, either every month we will be doing CXO Connect with one of the leading leader from the corporate world. Either he will be a CTO, CISO, or CRO, and he will be coming up with a amazing topic from that particular industry or from that particular domain, and also will be talking to all the community members, our, answering their questions, mentoring and grooming them that how to we be in the business ready, or if they have any questions related to career advancement, knowledge sharing, or anything. So that is the what we are trying to make a model that with this across India, anyone who wants to connect to the leaders of the corporate. So like maybe people who are in Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune get these chances, but somewhere if someone in my native place in Patiala, someone is sitting and for him talking to a CISO of an organization who just he has seen is advantage we want to bring on. So with this, I will really like to thank Amit Ghodekar for inviting or accepting our first invitation. So Amit Ghodekar is a CISO and VP with the Motilal Oswal, and he has agreed to do this inaugural session with us. So what the how the format it's gonna be like? I will be giving this now to Amit to take it over. But during the session, if you have any question, you can put it on Twitter with hashtag CyberFrat and hashtag Ask Amit. And also, if you want to talk here and if you have any question, right now I have muted you all. You can raise your hand. I will unmute you and we can do this conversation. Okay. So, Amit, over to you. And first of all, thank you for coming in and taking this our invitation, accepting our invitation.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Amit Ghodekar, and I am the Senior Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer of Motilal Oswal Financial Services Limited. I'm really thankful to Gaurav and the entire management of CyberFrat for giving me invitation to be the first person to deliver the CXO session for the CyberFrat community. I wanted to be part of CyberFrat community since long. Somehow, it was not happening, and I'm really sorry to Gaurav for my delay in conducting this session. Actually, this was long pending since last 1 month, but nevertheless, we are having this session today, and this session will be more of my learning in the cybersecurity domain and what I have learned over the period of time. What are the things which are actually changing our life and how we are going to evolve in the journey of cybersecurity when it comes to digital safety. And more or less, I will talk about my experiences, what I have learned over the period of time, and what I have learned in my existing organization, and probably as a community, what are things we should take care about cybersecurity, or what kind of a things which we should look at from a broader perspective. So I would like to kick off this session. If you can see the PPT, the name of this session is Digital Safety in the Careful Journey of Cybersecurity. When I say careful journey of cybersecurity, over the period of last 4 or 5 years since I have joined the current organization, I have seen one most important thing is that cybersecurity has become a very careful. Earlier, it was basically a like it was kind of a thing which was actually making only for money. Cyber criminals were used to do only making money, but now, if you can see the journey in last 4 or 5 years, it has become more careful. And the reason of this careful journey is digital transformation. So the digital transformation is happening across the globe in various institutions, and this because of this, the journey has become really very careful. So the today's topic is uh, digital safety in this careful journey of cybersecurity. I also have my couple of colleagues in this session. So they are, pillars of my organization, and they will be also, going through this session. And if they found that they wanted to do some inputs, they will be also giving. So I have Mangesh with me and I have Kunal with me. So they are also there with me right now for this session. So we'll start this session. I told you about where I'm working. I work for Motilal Oswal Financial Services Limited. We are the financial conglomerate of India, around $1.3 billion market cap company, and we have 7 businesses. I don't wanted to talk much about me, but for me, security is something like eat, sleep, and drink. Like every day, I just do think about cybersecurity itself and nothing more. And that's why I like to, love and love, I like to be part of this particular ecosystem where I can contribute for cybersecurity. Now, moving to next thing, we are really, really living in the VUCA world right now. I am pretty much sure everyone would be aware about what is VUCA. So VUCA is something like volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So we are living in a very volatile world, and I just wanted to give you a recent thing which is happening across the globe and which has created a lot of things in this VUCA terminology. We are all aware about the COVID-19 and the coronavirus. What is it is happening? So we know that thousands of people have actually, lost their life. Lakhs of people have suffered because of this disease, and the entire global economy is actually, taken a big problematic stage right now because of corona. And that's why there is a volatility in the world, and there is also an uncertainty means we don't know what is going to happen next. Because of that, there has been a lot of complexities like, nowadays, even if we wanted to travel, we have to think about whether we wanted to travel, or the organization, if they wanted to take some call, they have to look at the complexity because of this disease. And there is a lot of ambiguity as well. But if you can see in this VUCA world, I mean, like if we just wanted to take an example of this corona or COVID-19, what is happening right now is even the cyber criminals are also taking advantage out of it. So you must be knowing that there is a lot of phishing mails which are coming, and there are a lot of, communications are happening wherein the normal people are thinking that these are genuine mails, but those are phishing mails sent by the name of how to take safety in the coronavirus, or what to do when there is a COVID-19 infection. People are clicking on those links and they are getting infected. There have been certain reports from globe that certain systems have been compromised because of these phishing mails of COVID-19. So cyber criminals are also aware that how they can actually, utilize this event, and they can become big. So and that's why I said that we are living in a VUCA world. VUCA world means every time whenever there is some kind of a thing or some kind of a global event is happening, at the same time the bad people are also ready to, you know take this as an opportunity and exploit it. So let's move to the next slide. So I just wanted to give you an example about what is happening about in our personal life. You all must be aware that Samsung have recently launched an S20 Ultra 100x zoom device. So I just wanted to play one small video over here, and then probably we can actually, okay, I think the video is not being able to play. But if you must be aware about, what miracle this Samsung Ultra 100x zoom device can do. So I have seen some, you know, I have seen some videos of this particular device, and the man who is standing on the, very tall building, he is able to take a video or a photo almost like 1 or 2 kilometers long from his distance. So even if a couple of people, I have seen one video wherein a person who is actually sitting on a boat, and the person who is sitting on a tall building, he is able to take, video of that person who is sitting on that particular boat, and very clearly he can also shoot him. So in fact, I have written one article also recently on this particular topic, that because of this kind of a devices, What is happening is that there is definitely a user level experience is getting increased. We are getting a lot of new features, but at the same time our privacy is getting completely diluted. So we don't have any privacy. You just can imagine that someone who is sitting 4 miles or 2 miles away from you, and you are talking with your friend, and he is able to capture your movement. So what is going to happen with your privacy? So we are living in this kind of a world. So that's why I said that we are living in a VUCA world. So there is a lot of uncertainty. Even suppose if you think, you may say that what is the disadvantage which we can have for this? You can just imagine that if a cyber criminal or a sophisticated criminal wanted to track your activities, he don't require a very complex devices. He just have to take this device, and he can probably track your movements. He can take your photos, he can take your videos, and then if you wanted to do some criminal activity, he can very easily do that. So that's why the hardwares and the softwares in the world, they are becoming very powerful. And because of that, uh, what is happening is that we are really becoming very it is becoming very difficult for us to live in this particular world, and consider what kind of a digital safety we should have. So today's session is all about digital safety. And when we talk about digital, it is from my perspective, digital is nothing but millennials. What I mean by millennial is the people, the young generation who is actually taking advantage of the digital ecosystem. Now, first and foremost thing, when I talk about digital, the most important thing which comes to my mind is only about a mobility device, nothing else. Because if you can see, the mobility devices have actually changed our life. So we are actually 24 by 7 on mobile, and we are always connected, and we are always doing something new using the mobile phones. And that's why, for me, the definition of digital is nothing but mobility, and the definition of digital is nothing but millennials. The millennials who are actually, generating a business for the big corporates. When I say, I wanted to give this very simple statement that digital is equal to millennial. Why? Because take an example of social networking platforms like WhatsApp or Facebook. They are mostly lingering around what the millennials are looking out for, what the new generation is looking out for, and they are actually providing their services according to that. You can look at the instant messaging services like Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. They are also very digitally inclined toward the millennials. If you can see the photo and video sharing apps like Instagram, over there also the new innovations or the new things which are coming, those are mostly targeted to the millennials. uh, like uh, Organizations like GPay, who are helping the people to do instant money transfer, they are also looking out that how millennials can be benefited. In fact, I will give an example that Swiggy, which is one of the leading food servicing app, that was actually based on the requirements of the millennials. Airbnb and Uber is not separate like that. And I will give my own company's example. So whenever we are launching any services, we are looking out at what the millennials are looking out for. So uh, I just wanted to emphasize one thing, that India have largest number of young people in the world. So we have, I think 35% people in India are actually belongs to very young generation. So the organizations, what they are looking out, that they are looking out at what kind of a services which we can offer to these customers, so that they can be happy or they can be easily use our services. So that's why the only mantra for digital is millennials. There are a lot of things which are happening in the digital world. Like people say that, okay, I have done a digital transformation. When I ask them what you have done exactly in digital transformation, they say that we have implemented robotic process automation, or we have done the great CX experience, customer experience, or we have given some chatbots for the customer to make their queries. But I don't think so. These are the relevant things. These are these are definitely the relevant things, but those are not actually the digital things. When I say digital, digital means very simple, that how you are going to attract the millennials, what kind of a service you are going to the millennials so that they can use your services. And because of this, there's a lot of pressure on security. So when I say pressure, you can see there are three basic impacts are happening because of digitalization. One is about privacy. I just given an example to you about Samsung S20, that how our privacy is getting hampered. Then I also given example. I also said about, like, what kind of impacts which are happening now in terms of social. Social means, like, how our life is getting changed because of the digitalization. Earlier, when we actually, when WhatsApp was not there in our life, what we used to do is that we used to talk a lot on our mobile phones or our landline phones. But now, since the WhatsApp, WhatsApp thing has come in our life, what we have done is that our day start with WhatsApp good morning messages, and our day ends at the good night messages of WhatsApp. We are very less connected with our friend in actuality, but we are very highly connected with our friends on Facebook or WhatsApp or the other social network platforms. So digitalization have actually changed the entire ecosystem of sociality. It has taken a 360-degree change in the the relationship between our friends or families or the entire ecosystem of social. I had recently participated in one of the school, SNDT school, and I got an opportunity to speak with the principal of that university. And she was telling me that, Amit, I have seen one thing, that the next generation, they are very less talkative. They never come to us, they never talk to us, they never share their problems, they never say that what they want, but they're always on the mobile. So it is very difficult for us to gauge what they're looking out for. So on a broader level, this is the social impact because of digital. And financial, that there is a huge impact on financial. Every other day we come to know that some bank is getting cyber attack, or some financial institution is getting cyber attack, or some cyber criminal have actually defrauded some person. So these kind of things which are happening very regularly, and I think in a month we get a lot of such kind of cases. So these are the basic three impacts are there. And I just wanted to give you one thing, that in the previous world, the humankind, required only three things. One was about the food, the clothes, the house, and they required to have a security to safeguard themselves against the animals, right? That was in the stone age, when we required to have a security, we required to have security from the animal. But nowadays what we required to have a security only from viruses which affect the body, like flu, viral fever, influenza, or the latest one is the corona. So we required a security right now from this, and we also required to have a safeguard against the viruses which are happening in the digital world, like the viruses like the spyware, the malware, the ransomware. So the world is talking about two things. One is about ransomware, and second is about the corona. So these are the two things which are affecting the world. One is the virus, which is completely destroying the human body, and second, which is destroying the human digital life and the mind. So this is what it is happening across the globe. So just to move forward, I think everyone is aware about this viral face app challenge, right? And this was happened, and no one thought that what is going to happen with us after this viral face app challenge. So people actually, when this app came on the Facebook, people immediately started using this particular app to look at that how I will look when I will become old. Okay, so I don't know, like, if I didn't never try this, but what was the most important thing when people look at this particular app was that who are the celebrities who are using this application. And when they saw their photos, the curiosity automatically ignited them to use this particular application. And they also uploaded their photos, and they tried to see that what they are looking out. But they actually forgot that what is this application is all about, and what all things it is taking care about. So after this particular face app viral face app challenge, there were a lot of report came, and they said that this particular app have actually steal your information about your name, mobile number, email address, your current face. Most important is about your current face, So these all information, this particular application taken from you. So the big impact was that no one actually understood what is happening. They just given the information, and then their entire history, geography, and their details were actually shared. So this is what people are doing nowadays in the arena of digital. People are forgetting what are the basic fundamental, and they are just giving the details to anyone. Moving forward, I just wanted to give you a story about my own self, and this is something very interesting story I wanted to give actually. And I in a lot of last 3-4 conferences I have given this story about myself. So this story actually started something similar webinar which I was doing with one of the leading antivirus provider. And after this webinar, actually this team actually given me two small token of appreciations. And there was, I asked them that what is there in this box. So they said that there is something which you can use in your day-to-day life. So I said, okay, fine. And then there was a big box and there was a small box. So I asked them, what is there in this small box? So then this person said to me, so there is a pen in this particular box. I said, fine, let me check it out. And then I taken this both of the stuff to my home. When I came back to my home, uh, my daughter, actually she's just 6 years old. She came and usually she opened my bag every day. So similar like that, on the same day she opened my bag, and she found these two stuffs. The box was actually sealed. So she opened. In one box there was a pen, and in another box there was a lunch box. So she actually taken the pen. She actually played with the pen for some time, and then after she lost her interest. Then she actually given it back to me. I saw that lunchbox. It was very this is the exact lunchbox it was. So I saw that lunchbox and I found it really very nice. So I just went to my kitchen and given that box to my wife. And my wife asked me. She was actually doing her household stuff. She asked me, "What is there in this?" I said, "It looks like a lunchbox." Then I opened the box and it was a lunchbox. And she asked me, "It looks to be very nice, actually." I say, "It's very nice, actually. It's a very good brand, I say." And I was not knowing about this brand earlier. I was looking at this particular first time about this brand. So usual housewife thinking. She asked me, "What is the name of the company?" So I said, "Vaya." And she said, "I also don't know about this box." I'm like, "Yeah, really." Then she asked me what kind of a price it should have. I said, "Don't know, yeah, but I think it should be costly." And then she asked me again one new question: "What we are going to do with the lunch box which I have bought you for just 3 days back?" And I said, "Let's use that because it's a nice box. I will use this box later. So let's keep it." And then we kept that lunch box in our shelf, and the story ended on that day. Then it was, I think, a Thursday. Then Friday went off, and Saturday I started my home PC. I have 3-4 devices in my house. So I started my home PC, and usually I start my home PC only for writing articles. I write a lot of articles for newspapers. So on that day, I open my PC to write an article. So I opened the PC. I started working on the PC, and then after some time, I wanted to have some information. So I just open Google and I search. And when I click on the search, and after the search result came, I opened that website and went on the website, and then bang, on the very left side and on the very right side, the advertisement of this Via Lunchbox appeared. And I was shocked. I was shocked to see that why this Lunchbox ad has come. So I was really surprised. And then what I did, I started my personal laptop. Again, it is at my home. And I did the same thing. On the same laptop also, the same Via Lunchbox ad came. Then on the similar thing, this Lunchbox ad also came on my mobile browser also after some time. So I was very surprised. So I asked my wife that have you searched anything related to this lunchbox on Google or anywhere? She said no, because I thought that probably she was curious about the price. So she might have actually asked for she might have searched for it. But she clearly said to me that no, Amit, I did not search this lunchbox on any of the devices, even on my phone as well. So it was very clear. Then I asked my son as well. Usually he don't use PC and all, but still I asked him that, "Okay, have you searched?" He said, no, Dad, I did not did. My daughter is very small, so she was not having any idea about how to search and all. So the question was, completed over there and there itself. Now, after that incident, I was really very shocked and scared because I was not knowing that what is happened actually. I mean, like how Google came to know that I have some via lunchbox or I am searching for something. Then I actually taken a lot of information. I tried to dig it out, but I could not get the answer actually. I searched a lot of forums. Then I spoken with a lot of friends, but I was very clueless that what is exactly happened because of this has come. Then one of my friend who was actually he's a CEO of one very good startup actually. Then he's a very good security researcher as well. So then in offline conversation, I told him about this story that this has happened with me. So what kind of a things it have? So he told me his story. He said, Amit, exactly same thing has also happened with me. Just 15 days back. So he said that he was sitting with his friend in US and they were talking something and they were discussing about some business proposal. And after that, then he said, I wanted to go for a vacation. So his friend said, oh yeah, I also wanted to go for a vacation. And both of them were very, good friends. In our language, jigri dost. So he said, I also wanted to go for a vacation. So they actually, thought, kidhar jate, where we should go for a, uh, vacation. Some unique destination we want. And then his friend said, why not we go to Alaska? It's a unique destination. He said, yeah, I agree. We should go to Alaska. It's really a unique destination. And then they started thinking about Alaska. And from very next day, right from Instagram, Facebook, Google, everywhere Alaska vacations, advertisements start coming. So he said, Amit, it's not, there is no criminal in this world who has stolen your information. It is your mobile phone who has stolen your information. And then I recollected the entire, I went back and I recollected all the events. And I remembered that when I was speaking with my wife in my kitchen, my mobile phone was there on the in the kitchen and when we were talking. So I realized that probably some of the app in my mobile phone must have captured that about this lunchbox, which is very unique. And then probably it have started giving this information like the Alaska vacation. So this is all about. So that's why I said that we are living in a very scary world. The world is very scary. We don't know what is going to happen with us, and there are new tricks which the systems are using to gain the information which we have, and probably the similar informations the cyber criminals are also using, so that they can also gain from it. So that is what it is. Then going next about biometric sensors. So this is also a very interesting thing. One of my very good friend, he is a data scientist in one of the very leading multinational bank, and he told me three things actually. One is about the biometric sensor, and then the mobile face ID. So I will tell you about first biometric sensor. So he told me, Amit, just wanted to give an information that what the mobile phones are doing with our biometric sensors. So I said we are using it for opening and closing, like unlocking and locking the device. Yeah, he said right, but he said that there is something beyond which is happening in the world. And I said what it is. Well, he said there are the biometric sensors and the mobile face IDs. These are also captured for our medical purposes. I said I don't know about it. So he said our body have a unique recognition about your our like our face or our hand or our fingers. So the devices are so much capable now that they can do anything. So he given me an example. So he said that whenever we click on our mobile phones uh, display and our biometrics sensors take the information of our thumb, that particular point of time, it also capture the movement of our blood. So he said, when our kidney is supposed to get fail or our kidney is going to get damaged, at some interval of time, our biometrics get changed. And the devices become so capable now that they can predict that over the period of how much time this person's kidney is going to get failed, collecting the information of your biometric. Similarly, your face ID, whenever we actually use our face ID on the mobile phone, the retina, they also capture our retina. Some of the mobiles are also having a capability to capture the retina as well. So this particular devices also capture our retina movements. So there are a lot of, even Google also have one company, actually they have formed one company, and before Cambridge Analytica matter happened, they used to do this in a big way, that they used to use our medical information. So when we actually, when the mobile companies actually, mobile devices capture the retina, they also capture the movement of the retina. Now, what is going to happen because of that? Suppose if any person is going to have a heart disease, or if any person is going to have a heart attack, his blood movement in the retina changes totally differently. And the pattern in which the devices capture your movement of retina, they can predict over the period of time. This is the success of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So over the period of time, if you are continuously and successfully every day you are using your face ID, or your facial devices, and your system is having the track of it, over the period of time your devices can actually tell you that over the period of time how, in how many days or years your heart is going to fail, or if you are going to have a heart attack. So that kind of a powerfulness this particular systems are having. So you may say that what is the purpose of it? So there were two, three different purposes were there when this particular algorithms and mechanisms were built. One was definitely to serve the mankind, that whether he is going to have some kind of a disease in future, or giving alert. Second was even to give this information to the hospitals, that in a timely manner the patient can be served. And third was also about the insurance companies, which was a commercial use. So commercial use means, suppose if any person is going to have some kind of a problem in the future, if some person is going to have some kind of a medical problem in the future, the insurance companies can actually give the insurance at a higher rate, or they can probably not give the insurance at all. So these were the three things which were actually thought behind developing this particular system. Now, because of the Cambridge Analytica matter, this particular entire stuff was taken back, and I don't know whether there is any movement happening on this. But you can just think about that, while using our day-to-day applications, what the mobile companies are doing with our data. So your fingerprints, or your biometric device, biometrics things, or your retina, or your face IDs, they can be used, and they can be used by these companies. Now just imagine this can be also used by the cyber criminals as well. So when we are talking about digital, we have to look at these aspects as well. So when we are becoming highly digital, what is happening with our world is that we are giving everything to everyone, but at the same time we are not aware that what is going to be happen with our data, and how it can be used or misused. So these are the couple of things which I wanted to tell you. And about smartwatch. So I think everyone is using about smartwatch. Smartwatch is also tracking a lot of our health related information. It is tracking about our heart rate. It is talking about your height, weight, and your fitness details. Probably many of the peoples are even inserting the detail about some of their medical problems, like what kind of a disease they are having and all those things. So this was the news which came, that hackers can track you via Fitbit and other smartbands. So this device, like smartwatch, is a digital device which we are using, and the hackers are now tracking us with this help of this particular digital devices. So we are becoming so much digital, but we are becoming so unsecure. And even uh, these particular devices are also having our contact list and payment data and so on and so forth. So you just can think about that, if this digital device is lost or stolen or hacked, then what can happen with you? So this is how, and that is what is happening in our world. Going to about the next thing, and which is very scary actually, and which came to uh, one of my reading, that smart TV hack. Now hackers have entered in our bedrooms, They have made the video of husband and wife's personal moments, and this particular news has come in our our highest Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So there is one MP who have actually taken this particular point in July last year, that hackers have actually entered in the bedroom. They have hacked the hacked the smart TV, and they have actually taken the video of the husband and wife uh, on their personal things. So you can just imagine that if the hackers are able to hack your smart TV and your smart watch and your your mobile phones, etc., etc., then how much costly digital is becoming to us. So just to move ahead, I also read in one story about hacking of a pacemaker. So someone in US actually hacked the pacemaker of his dad, and actually he threatened to take his life if he don't give some kind of a money. So even the pacemakers are getting hacked, which are actually controlling the heart rates. Similarly, I also heard one news about the hacking of insulin pumps, which are like the insulin pumps which are used for the purpose of controlling the sugar in your blood. So I have heard about the story of insulin pumps are also getting hacked. I also heard about a lot of story about car hacking. So we are a lot of nowadays we are talking about smart cars like MG Hector. We are talking about Kia Seltos. They are internet connected. They are having most of the features which are controlled using internet connection, and they are completely digital. But I have heard a lot of stories about car hacking, and one of the story which I heard about is in Middle East, and I have searched about this, but this is a true story, and which is a very authentic story of a very and it was about a Range Rover car actually was hacked of a very rich person, and the particular person who was actually driving this car was actually asked to pay a ransom on a real time to make himself free from that particular incident. Otherwise, probably his life would have gone. So this was a real story which happened in Middle East. It was never published or not that much publicized actually, but it was real. So even the cars are getting hacked. And going forward, what all things can be hacked? So if you can see, CCTV cameras are getting hacked. We have seen a lot of movies. We have seen a lot of web series in which the cyber criminals are, hacking the CCTV cameras and entering in the building. We have seen Wi-Fi hack, so it has become a child's game nowadays. Even the home, in the home we are using a lot of deposit for keeping our personal belongings in the safe. Those safes are also getting hacked. So everything is getting hacked, and we are really living in a very scareful world, which is completely digital. So there is no go away from it. Now, I will just wanted to give an example. Going beyond this, I just wanted to give you one more example about even the applications which are there on the Google Play. Those are also not authentic. So this is an example of an application of the electricity board, which was a fake application, which was actually on Google Play, and people actually thought that this is a genuine app, and they actually made the payments using this particular app, but the payment was not really made from the for that particular electricity board. It was a fake application, so people lost money on that particular platform. So even the applications are fake. uh, we know a lot of about cyber war. So when we talk about cyber war, when last year in February, Pulwama attack happened, at that particular point of time, you must be aware that a lot of cyber attacks were happened. In fact, after almost a month after that, there were a lot of cyber attacks happened, and even the Pakistani army and their foreign ministry websites were hacked. Even our some of our websites were also hacked. So tomorrow's world is nowhere going to remain a world of a war of two countries. When it comes to human war, it is more going to happen on a cyber. And even if you can see the coronavirus or COVID-19, which is the way it is exploiting the world, even the cyber criminals are also exploiting the world using that particular opportunity. So tomorrow, if something is going to happen in the cyber world, and if something is going to destroy the world, the one most important aspect will be the cyber war, or the the kind of crimes which are going to happen on cyber. So we have to be really cautious about it. And the most important thing is that what is going to happen, because it is going to happen, is the digital. So digital is going to make a big impact on this kind of wars. We have seen a lot of movies on cybercrime. We have seen Die Hard 4. We have seen there is a series on Crime Patrol. Mr. Robot was a classic example. And Jamtara, I think everyone is aware about that, what kind of a story it has come. So people have actually started making movies. They are monetizing. When I saw Die Hard 4 10 years back, I never thought that this kind of a situation will come in the world anytime, and this kind of a world it will be in the future. But when I see today, I see that even Die Hard 4 was very earlier stage. Probably we will be having a big thing which is going to come in the future. Now going to about, like, you must be aware about this recent Facebook hack. So I think everyone is aware about Mark Zuckerberg. So Mark Zuckerberg is the world's most powerful person, and he is the one who, he is the CEO, and he is the owner of Facebook, who actually created Facebook. But this guy was actually asked by a cyber criminal or a hacker, and he was threatened by the cyber hacker that his page will be he have he have something in his hand so that his page can be taken down. So cyber criminals on a digital platform are threatening the world's most powerful person, that your page can be taken down. I can take your page down in 24 hours if my things are not sorted out. So if world's most powerful person and most intelligent person and most even a person who is having most rich person is attacked or as threatened by the cyber criminals, then probably you and me are nothing. So probably we can be taken down by any cyber criminal at any point of time. Then going next, so what is digital innovation is all about? So when we talk about digital, so there are only three things are there, which I said about the privacy and the social and the financial. But what is digital innovation is all about? There are four names which I am keeping in front of you. One is Uber, Airbnb, Facebook, and Alibaba. So if you can see about Uber, Uber owns zero vehicles. Uber don't have any vehicle actually. Or Airbnb, they don't own any real estate. Facebook don't own any content. And Alibaba owns zero inventory. But still they are very successful. Why? Because only three things. One is about the innovative business model. Innovative business model means what? When we talk about Uber or Ola, what is the innovative model? The innovative model is that I wanted to travel from one place to another place. I have to just go on the Uber application. I have to just select my current, I have to just select the destination where I wanted to go. And I have to just click OK, that's it. And within few moments, the car will come and it will take me. So that is the innovative business model. Then they have latest technologies. Latest technology means like they are using any sort of a technology. You can see they're tracking your location, they're tracking about your choices. Now nowadays when I travel by Uber or Ola, they know that what kind of a songs I like or what kind of a food I like. So according to that, they actually provide me the options. And third is about the great customer experience. You must have seen the Uber application or Ola application, or for that matter, Airbnb application. Airbnb application is a great customer experience application. It actually, it is very easy to navigate. Even a child or a very elderly person can easily try this application. They can search for the hotels where they wanted to go, and they can book it very easily. So they have a great customer experience. So everything is there. Because of that, digital innovation is happening. But still, they are getting hacked. So if you can see, despite of investing in cybersecurity, still the companies are getting hacked. And these are the names which are hacked over the period of time. Any name like Microsoft, JP Morgan, or Twitter, or take an example of Vodafone. These are the big names. And these have invested very heavily in the cybersecurity, but still they got hacked. Now these companies, if you can think about these companies, they are having everything. They are having the latest technologies. They are having the best in class talent with them. They are having the money to invest in cybersecurity. But still cybersecurity is getting challenged by the cyber criminals, because the cyber criminals are, everyone is saying that ki cyber criminals are 10 step ahead to us, but I say that probably cyber criminals are 100 step ahead to us, and that's why these are the things which they are doing. So there is no rescue for us. There is no, there is nothing which we can say that it is very easy and the world is very simple. It's not like that. We are living in a VUCA world, as I said earlier, and the possibility of the chances are that maybe not today, but tomorrow we may get hacked, and that is because of the digital. Now, what is the impact of digital revolution? These are some of the stats which I wanted to put in front of you. So 47% of the total employment is at risk from the computerization because of the next, in the next decade. This is the study of Oxford University. By 2029, robots will have reached human level of intelligence. This is, the statement of one of the very, powerful person. He is the director of engineering at Google. And even the same thing was also given by one of my friend who is, the data intelligence head at one particular place. So he also said that the robots will probably reach at the human level of intelligence in next 1 decade. And in 2030, 90% of the jobs as we know from them today will be replaced by smart machines. This is one of the things which Gartner is saying. So 90% of the jobs which we are knowing right this point of time, those will be totally replaced by uh, uh, those will be totally replaced by the robots. And even we know that many of the companies are now, doing, there are many of the companies which are now using a lot of robotic process automations because of this. The people are, doing totally different than what they were doing earlier. The classic example of my own organization, so we are using chatbot at a very great level. So the customer queries which we are handling right now, so those are mostly, taken care by the chatbot instead of the humans, and that has materialized in a great success. So a lot of things are happening in the digital revolution. When we talk about digital as India perspective, that also is, uh, taking shape at a great level. India is among the top two countries globally on many dimensions of digital adoption. So we are number two right now in digital adoption. We have 1.2 billion people in the largest digital identity program, which we say as Aadhaar. Then we have 12.3 billion app downloads. This is 2018 number. Then we have 1.7 billion wireless phone subscribers, 560 million internet subscribers, then 354 million smartphone devices, and 294 million users engaged in a social media. So these are some of the things which are actually contributing in the digital India success. And thanks to our government, which have a really good vision of, taking India on a digital path, that is creating a huge success for us. But this digital is creating a lot of problems. Even as I said earlier, so this digital is creating what? So this digital is also creating a problem that our cyber crime in India is increasing. So if you can see, the majority of the cyber crimes are centered on fraud and phishings. India is the third most targeted country for phishing attack after US and UK. So this is a very important thing which we should know. Social network as well as e-commerce sites are the major targets in India because of digital revolution. We have 6.9 million bot infected systems. Then we have around 25,000 website defacements every year in last 2-3 years. That is what I come to know. And in last year, we have around 7,000 and 5,000 .com and .in domains were defaced. But the most important point over here to make it is that India is the number one country in the world for generating spams. So we are the number one country in the world who is generating spams. So it's not like that we are getting attacked, but we are also attacking. So people, as the cyber criminals which are sitting in India, they are generating spams and they are creating a cyber crime. So this is something which is very important thing what we have to look at. Uh, Bangalore is India's cybercrime capital. So that is something which I came to know. In Bangalore, there were around 5,000 cases were reported in 2018, and after that it is Mumbai. So our own Mumbai is also not far behind. We have also around 3,000 cases registered till September 2018. So there is a high number of cybercrime cases which are happening. Then these are some of the cybercrime frauds. And if you can see these cybercrime frauds, you can look at it that most of the cybercrime frauds are happen uh, either on the financial systems or they are happen through a mobility devices. So SIM swap, we know about it. Then cyber attack on Bank of Bangladesh. This is a classic example of how cyber attack can happen. Cyber attack on Cosmos Bank, which is in our own India. Then ATM system which got hacked in Kolkata. Phishing attack on Wipro, which was one of the things which happened. And the most important is about our own big Amitabh Bachchan's Twitter account was hacked. And WannaCry and ransomware attacks, which are happening since long now. So if you can see, we are sitting on a ticking time bomb called as internet. And this internet and digital is actually creating a lot of problems in our lives. And because of that, there are a lot of cyber crimes are happening. This is one of the very recent case, last year case only, that one Mumbai businessman lost 1.86 crore rupees to SIM swap fraud. SIM swap fraud which was happened with him, and he lost almost 2 crore rupees. Then one most case was about what we are talking is about the WhatsApp call snipping. So this is something which is very unique, that the calls which we are making on WhatsApp, those were also getting those were also getting hacked, or those were also someone was actually using this particular calls. So I personally feel that when I look at this entire ecosystem and the cyber security and the way the cyber security is getting challenged by various ways and means, I feel that where we are heading actually, because it seems that the cyber crime is increasing day by day, and the things which are happening around us, there is nothing secure. If we can have WhatsApp kind of a system, it is also not secure. Then what is secure? So we should actually ask us that what should we use and what should not use. Then this is one very classic case, and this has happened with our Chief Justice, Mr. R.M. Lodha. So he was also, he was also made fool by the cyber criminal for 1 lakh rupees. So he is the retired Chief Justice of India, and he got a spoofing mail, and the mail came from the Supreme Court Judge B.P. Singh, and he asked for 1 lakh rupees, and then he given him, and then it came that you know, this particular Mr. B.P. Singh's email was hacked and spoofed, and it was sent to the Chief Justice Mr. R.M. Lodha, and he thought that it is a genuine mail, and he given the money. So the highest level of people like Big B or Mr. Luda, those are also getting hacked, and those are also getting challenged by the cyber criminal guys. Then it is very difficult for us to live in this connected world. So that is what is happening around us. So if you can see the recent cyber attack, and this is a very classic thing. I mean, like I just wanted to emphasize on this particular case. So after Asia Cup defeat, Bangladesh fans were so unhappy that they actually hacked the Virat Kohli website. So Mr. Das, who was their player, Liton Das, he was actually given wrongly out in that particular match, which probably Bangladesh would have won. And then after that, India won that match, and India won Asia Cup. The Bangladeshi fans were so unhappy that they hacked the website of Virat Kohli, and they actually put it out this message also on his website, that hacked by CSI. Now, what was the reason? Because of revenge. They wanted to take a revenge. That they thought that Virat Kohli uh, the particular episode, and something. So cyber war is happening.
Amit, suddenly your voice is
So
breaking and it's
we are
something has
talking about
happened.
that. So now we are almost on the concluding stage of this particular uh, from my
Amit, you
side.
able to hear us?
So when we are internet and cybersecurity, what are the things which we should do? So there are certain things which we should do to remain safe. There are a lot of things which we can, but I personally feel that if you can just focus on
Amit, you able to hear us?
So first and foremost, that now like we have antivirus. We should also have antivirus devices because, as I said, that our mobile devices are the maximum impacts on our life. They are changing our life. Right? So we should have strong for our devices. Then we should keep an alert on should keep an alert on most of the times we never look at those alerts. So we just uh, forget it. We should block the stranger calls which we are getting. Then most important is we have to be alert on unusual behaviors on our mobile, like the unusual text messages, strange charges to the phone bills. And this is last most important thing about the things back to the life. So this is something which I want to emphasize on and I want to tell you all about. See, whenever there is a wrong is happening, personal
Amit, can you hear us?
mobile phone, most important thing happens is that your battery life will decrease. Because what happens if someone is going to hack your mobile phone, probably you must have system in your mobile phone and which will consume battery. So eventually you should be alert that battery is getting low, then what is the reason and if there is some drastic change to it. I heard that even Chinese tracking the uh, battery life of the people who are living in China. So that's really informative about some of the things what the IT companies do. So
Amit, you able to hear me now?
yeah, I'm able to hear you now.
Yeah, actually, your voice was breaking fully. That's why we were trying to reach you.
Now you are able to hear me.
Yes, it's working fine now. Seems.
So
So
should I
something
recap
happened.
or like what?
I think that's fine. Maybe this slide only, like last 1 minute or we were not able to get you.
Acha, last 1 minute. Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Fine. So I will continue from here then.
Yep. Okay.
Huh? Yeah. So so what I was saying about what I was going through about the unusual behaviors on your phone. So unusual text messages, train charges, phone bills, decreased battery life is something what you have to look at it. So that is really very important. The next is about how to protect yourself. So a lot of things have happened. So cybercrime reporting portal has been created by the central government, and you can actually complain about your if there is an incident which is happening in your cyber related to cyber crime. You can actually report it to the cybercrime portal. Probably they can assist you. Apart from that, you can also report phishing to Maharashtra Cyber Anti-Phishing Unit. There is a website, reportphishing.in, wherein you can report this kind of things like, did you visit a fraud website, did you receive a fraud phone call, did you receive a fraud email, did you receive a fraud SMS, did you come across a fraud of social media post, your fraud had happened through other sources. You can report on the report phishing portal as well. So these are some of the government initiatives. I am pretty much sure that you must have seen this Netflix series, The Great Hack, which was around the Cambridge Analytica matter, which was happened in the US, wherein how Mr. Donald Trump won the election, and when the entire world was thinking that Miss Hillary Clinton will win the election, but Mr. Donald Trump the election only on the power of social media. So I think at least every cyber security person should watch this series. This is really a knowledge and very good series for us to understand what social media and digital can do to transform the things when it comes to changing the election dynamics or changing the complete ecosystem of the world. If the social media is playing a great role, then and digital is playing great role, then it can play a great role in our lives as well. So this is something which is very important. And the last is about now we can probably look at about the career in cybersecurity. That was something which I wanted to share with you. And in last my career, in last my 10 years careers in cybersecurity, I have learned a lot of things. So there are a lot of cool jobs are there in cybersecurity. There is a very bright future for the people who are either studying in cybersecurity or working in cybersecurity. So we have a great opportunity to excel ourselves in cybersecurity domains. So these are some of the coolest job which I have seen recently. One is about the forensic part, digital forensic analyst, something which is really fascinating career profile. Then there is a lot of demand for penetration testers, then systems and networks specifically, and then there are a lot of demand for application penetration testers. Then there is a huge demand in cybersecurity operations center analyst. If you can see, most of the big companies are investing heavily in the cybersecurity operations center domain. So there is a huge demand in that. There are a lot of captive SOCs are getting open in India. Actually, a lot of foreign national companies now are investing in India. They're actually opening their SOC in India. So there will be a lot of demand in SOC analyst over the period of time. Then a lot of demand is there in cyber defenders, cyber security engineers, and ICS. We have a lot of demand for hunters, specifically for incident response. So many of the companies are also looking out people who are actually doing an investigation after the incident. So they are the hunters. Cybersecurity architect. This is also something which is booming up. Just wanted to tell you about cybersecurity architect. This particular profile is really very challenging profile. If you are really looking out to make a career in this particular area, it is very niche profile, but you really require to have a lot of knowledge about systems, network, application, and overall the architecture of your cybersecurity domain. But over the period of time, this particular profile will also pay a lot. Then security savvy software developers. This is something which is a very unique thing actually. So nowadays even companies are looking out for software developers who are who are aware about cyber security, or they are aware about software development lifecycle in terms of security. Malware analyst and reverse engineers are also something which the companies are looking out for. And there is a huge demand for technical directors and CISO. So at the very highest level of the security paradigm, that is the CISOs or the director, there is a lot of demand for this particular profile. I have seen a lot of reports, and by next 3 years, there will be a huge demand in cybersecurity career and jobs. So this is really a booming field, and the aspirants who are looking out to have a career in cybersecurity, they have to just focus on some of these 10 domains where they can work on, and they can create their calibers and create their experiences. With my own experience, I wanted to tell you a couple of you know people around me who have started their careers and they have reached at a very high level. So at least I know about at least 4 of my team members who joined me in last 4 5 years. They work with me for 2 3 years, and they are now they are working in a very big multinational companies at a very senior level in and they have actually done a progression in hardly in 4 to 5 years. So this particular domain is really having a lot of things. There is a lot of opportunities are there, and not only a lot of opportunities, but you can also have a lot of earning as well. So if you can compare a cyber security professional who are earning something in this particular domain, they are definitely earning better than the other domains. So we can earn also a lot. The only thing what is required from you is that you should have a focused approach, you should have a focused attitude, and you should have a learning appetite. So you always require to learn, because cyber security demands that you require to learn a lot of things. So this is all about from me. My presentation is over. Probably now, Gaurav, we can take the questions.
Yes, I can already see some hands
Yeah.
are raised, and it's really a amazing session, Amit. Like quite things were new for me as well. It's eye opener, and thanks for taking it. And of course, I think we have many questions from the career aspect as well, and other things. So I think Smuri has raised. So I have few questions. Maybe I'll read that. Let me ask audience first. Their questions. So S Muru or okay, Smuru. So yeah, go on. I have unmuted you. We are not able to hear you. Uh, I don't know. Is this S Muru? You have any question? I have unmuted you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a question that Amit is talking about only about normal thing. He is not talking about darknet. Otherwise, his session is very interesting. How we can handle the darknet situation? That is my question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Darknet is the thing which I actually really wanted to emphasize on, but this is very niche thing actually. So I did not actually touch base upon it. But yeah, there is a lot of things which we can do in darknet. If you can see my last slide actually in my PPT, so in that I have mentioned about the threat hunting job as well, the job profile as well. So in that particular profile, a lot of things are coming up. So open source intelligence and darknet hunting is something which is also the organizations are looking out at. So we have to from the career aspect to perspective, we have to look at darknet as a really very important aspect of it. We have to look at it from 2 3 different point of views. One point of view is that how I can look at darknet for getting more and more information, how I can get a lot of information about the organization, a lot of information about the institution where I'm working, and what are the hackers doing on the darknet against my organization. So this is something which I have to look. From career perspective, there is a lot to do on the darknet front. There are a lot of lot of books have come on dark web. There are a lot of books have come on the open source intelligent tools which can help you to learn new things on dark web. So we can look at that as well. And there are a lot of things which are happening on dark web in terms of dark web and darknet in terms of you know uh, taking the economy down as well. A lot of things are happening. I heard about Cosmos incident, that there were a lot of interesting chats were happening on dark web before the incident happened, and some of the agencies were actually able to track those, and they actually intimidated the banks, but the bank was not able to take action on that. So these kind of things are happening on dark web. There are a lot of new age cybersecurity startups have come, and they are doing a lot of interesting product, and they are doing providing a lot of interesting product and services in the area of dark web. So we have to look at that as well. So dark web is a totally different topic altogether, and it required a really probably deeper learnings and deeper uh, showcasing as well. So Gaurav, this can be a good topic for us for the next session actually.
Just to add on that, so like under digital security program, we are running this chapters, right? Every month new topic. So Next month it's IoT, and then after that it's blockchain. But the third month from now, that is June, its whole month is for dark web. And
Oh, that.
Ritesh Bhatia is going to talk about his investigations, dark web, and also, and then I will see who other speakers can be part of. So we are planning to have total 2 to 3 webinar in month of June, and whole month we will be talking about dark web.
Sure, sure. That's
Uh,
really good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amit and Admin. We can talk about what are the privacy matters and in darknet. That also can be included in the topic, particularly in June, as per your schedule. Thank you,
Sure,
Admin.
sure. Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
good
Sure, sure.
suggestion. We will take
Yeah.
that. So next, I think Paresh, yeah, you wanted to be unmuted, so I'm unmuting you. Yeah, Paresh, go
Can
on.
you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
Amit, you said that Bangalore and Mumbai are the cybercrime capitals in India, right?
Correct. Correct.
But to my understanding, if the maximum fraud calls are coming from the city called Jamtara, which is in the Jharkhand. It's a very small town, but each and the all many of the hackers or the crackers, they have got almost 2 to 5 SIM cards of different companies from where they make the fraud call and get the OTPs from the users. Is that my information correct with you?
Yes, yes, yes. Your information is absolutely correct. When I was talking about the cyber crime, it is reported. So there is a institution in India who actually collect the information of the cyber crime which is reported. So the information which I have given is all about the FIRs or the cases registered in those particular cities. So Bangalore have registered highest number of cyber crime reported cyber crime. Second is Mumbai, and what you are talking about, Jamtara, is the capital where the people are actually making they are they are making frauds. Okay, so here there is no reporting. This is the place where the people are actually they are making frauds, and they are defrauding the person from this particular place. Okay, and Mumbai and Bangalore are places where the people are getting defrauded. That is the difference. Otherwise, your information is correct.
Yeah, I have the continuation of this. Now, since these all information is, can somebody ask these children to keep mute, please?
Amit, is that from your side? I think no one else is.
No, I don't have anything from my side.
Okay, Amit, can I ask?
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so in continuation to what I had asked is let be it a Zamtara or Mumbai or
Yeah,
these all information is been published and been all in the newspaper and they're coming in the social media as well. What is
correct.
that government's role into this? That these all facts and figures are getting published every quarter, and still the frauds are getting increased. So, are as a cyber professionals, are we trying to do our something social or apart from the government and the regulations?
See, cyber crime or cyber security is a very vast domain, and reporting cyber crime is just started happening in India. We are really fortunate in last 3 4 years at least we are coming and getting this data at least. So government is actually publishing this data, and we are getting this data at least. So this particular from a community point of view, I don't think so. We should be do like these things. It's all about government. Okay, so even if some person is getting defrauded or some person is cheated using by the cyber criminals, from a community perspective, what we can do for him? We cannot do anything for him because arrest the cyber criminal to put him behind the bar to make a case against that particular criminal. It is all about a community can max to max help him, uh, that particular person who has help him to go and reach to the right place. What is the right procedure to report the case? What is the history required to understanding about the case? Probably it will help him to investigate at certain level. But beyond that, it is all about government. So my personal opinion is that it has 24 task very good. when there was no cyber in that point of time. I have investigated certain cases. Changing type is very challenging actually. It is concerned, it should be and helping each other. Beyond that, it is law and order, and it is all about police machinery to person. We should not go in.
Okay, Amit, I think again your voice is getting break.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, so sometimes it happens in between, but yeah, overall it's fine. So thanks for that. I think next I have Vishal. Before I read the questions which has been submitted to me, let me unmute Vishal Saraswat. Vishal, you able to hear us?
Yeah. So my question is that we are receiving many URLs on social media sites, WhatsApp, Aizala, that click on this site, some information there. So how to check the reliability of those URLs, whether those are fake or reliable? We can click on those URLs. So if you can give some guidance on this.
I can you repeat the question again, please? Sorry.
So I'm saying that we are receiving many URL link on social media sites, on WhatsApp,
Correct, correct, correct,
Aizala,
correct, correct,
Facebook. So
correct,
how to
correct,
check
correct.
the reliability of those URLs?
So you can check the there are three ways are there. One is about like you can check the authenticity of the URLs with the help of the domain who is okay. So on who is you can go and check who is the owner of this particular URL and domains. You can also check the reputation of those particular URLs. There are a lot of tools are available on internet wherein you can check the reputation of the URL. Certain threat intelligence platform also tell you whether these particular URLs are blacklisted or not. So you can also there is a whole lot of blacklisted IP addresses system is available on Whois as well. So you can check it out whether this particular URL is hosted on which IP address and whether that particular IP address is blacklisted or not. If the IP address is blacklisted or this particular URL is blacklisted, it means that the URL is not genuine. So you can do that. And apart from that, you can also use a lot of threat intelligence portal. There are a lot of threat intelligence are available, like trend micro threat intelligence is there, or McAfee threat intelligence is there, wherein also you can check the reputation of this particular URLs. So having said that, you can actually there are multiple ways to check the authenticity of the URLs and the IP addresses. And even you can just Google in and check it out that how to check authenticity of the URLs and the IP addresses. You will get a lot of solutions.
But is there any application available on Android or Play Store which prevent getting these URLs
So
instead of
you
checking
can,
it's yeah.
if you wanted to prevent it, that is a totally different thing. If you wanted to prevent it, then you can use a lot of tools like mobile security. There are a lot of mobile security tools are there which are available. So you can use some of the mobile security tools on your mobile, which can actually help you to defend this kind of URLs. So they can give you alert that this particular URL is not authentic or something like that. So there are a lot of mobile security solutions are available. You can check it out that. I personally, I'm using Kaspersky since long, a mobile security solution. It's a paid version, and it is giving me a real-time alerts on this kind of fake URLs or unreputed URLs. Even the SMSs as well. It also gives me an alert if the SMS which is coming, and if there is a URL crafted in the SMS, which is not a reputed URL, it gives me an alert on that. So there are a lot of tools are available which you can install on your mobile phone for mobile security.
Okay, thanks, Amit.
Yeah.
Okay, so Amit, thank you for that, and I'll just take your question from Satyajit Das. I don't know if he's here right now. So he has mentioned, "Hi Amit, glad to interact with you. At age 43, I want to take a decision on further growth in cybersecurity infosec after 12 years in VAPT security testing domain. How should I proceed and in which direction?"
A very interesting question. I am also almost 40 now. So, so age is not a bar actually when you come to cyber security. I have seen people. I have just came to one case actually very recently. He's just a 9-year boy from a very small village in Satara, and he read one of my. His mother actually read one of my article of mine. So 9 years, I think in fourth standard or fifth standard, I think he is. But he is doing a lot of work in the area of cyber. Actually, he is doing testing and all those things. So I was really amazed to hear from his mother that he is inclined in cybersecurity. So from the young age, see this kind of age, and then 43 is not something very, like very old age. Actually, you can do a lot of things. But I personally feel there are only two things which is going to happen in the near future. One is that you require to have a really strong and very core knowledge of domain. So you require to have a really strong knowledge about each domain of cybersecurity, and a technical knowledge specifically, which I am talking about. So you should actually dig into it in detail, that key what is that is all about. And second is about the governance. So governance, when I'm talking about, there will be a very high demand of governance in future, because a lot of organizations will require someone at a senior level who can actually help them to govern the entire cybersecurity programs. So when we grow older, and when we become when we go to the retirement age, uh, for me retirement is something which is above 45 or 46 or 50. So at that point of time, we should think about a role which is very heavily emphasized on learning new things and implementing something new things. So these are the two things. One role I also mentioned about the cybersecurity architect. So this is also something which is a very unique role. A person like myself, or someone who is having age of 43, he should think about that role very like he should think about that role, because it talks about a lot of architectural things about the cybersecurity domain. You require to have a lot of knowledge about each and every domain of the cybersecurity. So these are some of the things you should consider about.
Thank you, Amit. I think Nikhil, you have raised the hand, so I'll just unmute you after this question. Amit, the next question I have from Karan Oja, and I can see Karan, you are here. Okay, I read your question, and I'll unmute you if you want to add something on that as well. So Karan writes, hey, "Hi Amit sir, I have been working in IT industry for from last 15 years as sales and business development professional. From the past 8 years, I have been doing various certification from different OEMs on their technologies and solution, as well as I have done industry specific certifications like CEH and diploma in cyber laws. I would like to know your opinion that what do I need to do to become a cybersecurity specialist through which I can become more of techno commercial specialist. I do not have any hands-on experience or background. Would really appreciate your advice for the same.
Yeah,
I hope you.
actually,
It was long. I hope you got that question.
yeah, I heard his question, and it is really interesting. So so Nikhil is actually your question is
No,
really very
it's
right.
Karan. It's
Sorry,
Karan's question.
Karan, your question is a very good question actually. So you are looking out for a career in which is a techno commercial career actually in cybersecurity, and I have seen very few people actually who are actually looking and exploring this particular field actually. But as you mentioned that you have done a lot of certification in cybersecurity, so I don't think so you require to do more certification in this particular area. But what you can do is actually enhance your knowledge by doing only one certification, that is CISSP. So if you are really looking out for a complete 1 to 10 kind of a knowledge in cybersecurity, wherein which you are going to use in selling the cybersecurity products, or you are going to use in a techno commercial role, then probably you can think about CISSP. It will give you holistic information and knowledge about all the domains of cybersecurity. And probably if you wanted to build your career in any of the domain for selling the cybersecurity product, it will help you. So CISSP is a very difficult exam, and it is very tough to clear it. But even if you try to give it, or you learn about CISSP books and all those things, that will really give you a very good understanding about the domain. Apart from that, there are a lot of certifications are there, but that may not give you about the complete length and breadth knowledge. So if you wanted to give a length and breadth knowledge, if you wanted to have a length and breadth knowledge, probably you can think about CISSP. It will take some time for you, but believe me, I have seen some of the very successful, techno commercial sales people actually in the industry, and which are working at a very senior level. They all are CISSP. So this is something really help you. I hope I have addressed your question correctly.
Thank you, Gaurav sir, for reading my question, and thank you, Amit sir, for answering my question very much in detail.
Yeah,
So, CISSP is what I'm looking at, and I had already discussed the same during my last event of cybersecurity bootcamp with Gaurav sir.
acha.
And actually, Amit sir, I intend to shape or I would like to go in the direction of a consultant where I would like to talk only about the technologies, not about the vendors or the OEMs or the solutions from the vendors. So I'm more on the technology centric side. I'm more of a technology person. But to add to that, I'm not a pure hands-on guy. I'm not from the hands-on experience background. So that is what is that was a challenge to me, and that's the reason I have raised this question, that not coming from a hands-on background, how do I take it ahead? So I think CISSP is what you have mentioned and what you have answered.
Yeah, yeah. So that is something which will give you good knowledge about the domains. It will give you knowledge in detail. And see, eventually, if you are going to go into the market for selling the technologies, so anyways, the product details you will come to know about from the uh, product company itself. So you need not require to work on that particular aspect. What you need to work on the technologies.
Yep,
Probably your
and
fundamental
just to add,
knowledge.
yeah, just to add on Amit. So, Karan, I think we can have a more discussion in detail. But from the CSSP perspective, that I also on the people on the call, you are already a plus member, and we are starting CSSP training from 11th April to 30th May, every Saturday, Sunday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So, 8 weekends, 32 hours CSSP training will be given to all plus members for free. So just stay tuned to that, and in May, after going through that curriculum, then you can connect back to Amit again if that doesn't solve the questions you have.
Absolutely, absolutely, Gaurav
So
sir.
just to everyone who are not plus member, just register for plus, and we will be providing the CSSP training to everyone in month of April and May. Thanks,
That
Karan.
is really great. That is really great.
Thank you, Amit sir. Thank you, Gaurav sir.
Yeah.
Yep. Nikhil, I will be unmuting you next. Nikhil the Prince. Okay, here you go.
Okay, hello sir. I'd like to ask one question. Lastly, I posted one. I got one document which is released from the Ministry of Family Welfare. It was written so, but I was trying to verify it from official website, and I found that it's not there. So a few minutes later, the Twitter handle posted that this was the fake. So before that, I was trying to find out that document.
Actually, I'm not able to hear you, Nikhil, unfortunately.
Hello, am I audible now?
You are
Uh,
audible.
you are breaking, Nikhil. Nikhil, will you mind putting your question in the chat window? That will be really helpful because it's difficult to hear you properly now.
Am I
And
audible?
okay, go on, try it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Lastly, in 2 to 3 days before, the Ministry of Family Welfare document were spreaded. That was found out it was fake. So at that time, I was trying to find out it using the Google Doc. So
Okay.
I'm not able to customize that doc. And next day, I found out two more documents similar to that, and those were released from the government official from the Maharashtra, stating that it will be holiday due to the corona. So I was quite surprised that it won't even available on the website, and it's in the news also. And few moments later, the minister has had a press release, and he said that it was holiday for the all Maharashtra.
Then I want to ask that how should we verify such documents which are spread over the social media, and how can we stop and correct the user in a good manner so that he won't feel offended, and we will convey our message in a good manner through the technical information.
Nikhil, this particular document was available on the official website?
No, sir, it was not available. But the first was not available. Second, I didn't found it because last was updated from the 12th May, and it was from the 14th May. But it was confirmed in the news also, but I still not able to verify that document.
Achha. So there are a lot of, I don't remember the name of the organization, probably I can share you offline. So there are a lot of institutions are there who are actually checking out the fake news part as well nowadays. So there are a couple of portals are there where you can check out about the fake news or the documents, whether the documents which are spreading, those are real or fake, that you can validate. I don't have a immediate information about the domain which actually validate this, but probably I can share you offline about it. But the best way to investigate is to actually check it on the official domain of that particular institution and see whether this information is publicly available or not. If it is not publicly available on their official domain or official Twitter handle or Facebook handle, it means that it is not a authentic or genuine document. That is the first level of investigation what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. So I did the same, but the second question I got to know in the technical terms, like can we use the Google Doc to scan those uploaded public PDFs using some dark titles or something like that?
See, actually, it is a very complex, like complex thing actually, and I think I personally feel that we should avoid doing this actually, because it is all about government institutions, data and details, and we are not going to have any purpose of it, even if we scan it and check it out. So, if you think that it is not a genuine information or genuine document, the best part is that you report it to that particular department. That's it, and leave it, because we doing our own investigation in this particular area is not going to help much in that. Instead of that, just report it to that particular institution, let them investigate that particular part.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Amit. Amit, before I go ahead, I just because I booked your time for 10:30 to 12. Are you okay to take 3-4 more questions because I have with them, or you have another commitment? Then I will ask people to
Yeah,
post
yeah, we
in
can
the
we can we
Twitter
can
or
do it.
email. We can
We
do
can
it.
do it. Yeah, yeah, we can.
Okay, great. Thanks. That's helpful. So that's my duty to ask, because I booked your time till then. Okay, so I think next question I would like to take. Let me see. It's Nikhil Talwar. Nikhil, you are on the call. I can see Nikhil. You are here. Nikhil, I'm unmuting you. You want to read your question, or you want me to read?
Gaurav, I
Uh,
can read it myself if you guys can hear me.
yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, Amit, basically the question is that you've kind of mentioned a lot of things about the threats that are out there.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if we could focus a little bit on, according to you, what are the basic hygiene steps that an organization should be taking to keep itself protected? So we've already spoken on the personal bit, I know that, but for organizations, if you could at least just touch on it, then I feel this session will be more complete.
Yeah, from the organization perspective, the most important part is about you have to understand about the crown jewels. What are the jewels of the organization, which the organization needs the maximum attention. And from my own experiences and what I have done over the period of time in my career is that I always focus on the crown jewels of the organization. uh, Take an example of my existing organization. So I know that what are the things which are generating a business for my organization, and how I can actually protect that particular systems or processes or technologies in a very deeper manner. So that is something which is I am talking about the crown jewels. This is the first thing which I will look at. Around it, I will also look at how I can do a great level of defense in depth. So industry is talking a lot about defense in depth, but I have never seen an very good example about what kind of measures we should require to take care about. So first is about once I identified my groundswells, then I have to look at how I can have a very very rigorous and very strong defense for this particular system, processes, or technologies in place. And from an organization perspective, we always emphasize on latest technologies, implementation of latest technologies, and cutting edge solutions, and etc., etc. But one thing which we always forget is about how I can bring a culture of security in the DNA of the organization. Okay, so it is all about the culture. So even if you put a very sophisticated technology, or you put a lot of processes around securing your infrastructure or technologies or application, eventually it is all about people, okay, who are working in the organization. So whether they really care about security, whether for them security is an important aspect or not, that is very important. So you have to bring a culture of security in your organization. And I will say that instead of bringing a culture, security should be in the DNA of the organization. If the organization, hello, hello,
We can hear you, Amit. We can hear
yeah.
you.
So if the organization, if the security has come in the DNA of the organization, automatically a lot of things are considered, taken care of, and all those things. But the most important part is about you have to bring the culture and security as a DNA in the organization. When you are able to do that, then probably you can do miracle when it comes to cybersecurity. So that are the 3 core points which I would like to focus on.
Okay, thank you, Amit. And Nikhil, if you have any input, I think you muted yourself. Raise your hand if you want to be unmuted. As I move on to the next question. Okay, I think so. Paresh, your question is: can we have this recorded session for all CyberFrat members? Paresh, this is in the. It will be recorded and it will be in the drive of Plus. So right now I can't give the access to all CyberFrat members, but if you are a Plus member, that you will be having this access by default. Okay. Yes, then you will have. If you are a Plus member, you will have. Thank you. Okay, so Amit, there is a question in the chat window. I'm reading. Anpal can't unmute himself. He's saying he's out in the crowded place. So his question is: I am from network background. Just now passed the CSSP exam. So now, how can I land a job in the information security domain? Please advise us. What should I study to crack my any interview? People are asking me experience in the information security domain. I think, Anfal, if you can add more here, like, how much total experience you have, or you are a fresher, that will be a complete question. But right now, Amit, information we have is he's a CSSP and have network background. So network background, must be having some experience. So he want to go into the information security from network. Any
So if
advices
you,
for him?
yeah, if you are a CISSP and if you have a network background, then I will suggest that you think about a career in the SOC domain, because as I mentioned in my 10 coolest job in cybersecurity, one of the coolest job was in security operations center. So there are a lot of opportunities are available in the security operations center profile, and the organizations are investing heavily in this particular profile. So you can think about how you can do a career in this. I have recently one very good example in my own actually ecosystem. So there is one husband and wife, both of them CISS sorry C they both of them were CCNP security, and both of them were very young. Actually, they actually shifted themselves from a different domain to this particular domain, and both of them got a very good opportunities in the SOC operation field. So they actually started working on the web application firewall implementation and monitoring, etc. And another fellow actually started working on the DDoS appliance monitoring and configuration and all those things. So in security operations center, there are a lot of opportunities are there, because a lot of organizations are heavily investing in the cutting edge technologies. So you can have a very good option to explore yourself, and you have a network background. So if you can add some gist of security to your domain, probably you can be very successful in the security operation area.
Thank you, Amit. Okay, Anful got it. So great. And I think last two questions, Amit, from my side, which we have already got. So I don't know if Aditya is on the call. Amit, Aditya, if you are here, just raise your hand. I'm reading your question. What are the top three recommendations that you would give for senior security professional who are aspiring to become CISO?
Oh, okay. So senior security professionals who are aspiring to become a CISO is a really very interesting question. What I will say is that if you are really a senior security professional and who you wanted to become a CISO, then probably you have to look not only on the security posture, but you have to look at the business perspective as well. So you have to look from the perspective of which organization you are working for, or which organization you are intended to work as a security CISO profile. So you have to look at the business dynamic of that particular organization. What kind of a business this organization is doing? What is the top line business of this particular organization? What is the bottom line business of this organization? What are the threats which are associated with this particular organization for its top line business? And what kind of a countermeasures or controls you should have in place to mitigate those threats. Second part is also you have to look at the industry perspective as well. So you also require to look at what this institution is in business. So if this institution is in FMCG, or this institution is in BFSI, then what kind of a cybersecurity threats this particular vertical is having all about, and what kind of a recent cybersecurity frauds or hacks or breaches has happened, and what are the reason behind that, and what kind of a countermeasure this institution required to have. So from a senior cybersecurity professional to a CISO, the journey is more to look at business, more to look at the drivers of the business, and also most important is about the compliance. So you also have to look at what are the compliance challenges this particular business will be having, and what are the regulatory requirements or demands. So based on that, you have to craft the framework, and you have to craft the areas which are aligned to it. And that is the most important way for you to go from a senior practitioner to a CISO profile.
Okay, thank you, Amit. I think he's, I don't know if he's here, but no raising hand. So last question, which I will like to read, is from Umesh. I think Umesh, he's currently acting as a CISO for UIDI. How data privacy will impact capital market industry? That's a specific question for you, Amit. And how to manage a related impact more effectively than learning on the curve.
So data privacy, I will not say only capital market. It is actually a universal thing altogether, because data is in the center of everything now, and data is something which is actually making or destroying the institutions. So data privacy will be having a huge impact over the period of time, and we really require to safeguard our data and the systems which are around the data. uh, so I will not say about capital market per se. Capital market, anyways, there is a very strong guidelines from the regulators, like the Security Exchange Board of India. They have their cyber security framework for the stockbrokers and the institution which are working under it. So they have really nicely crafted the framework that what are things which you require to take care about protecting the data and the systems. I think if any institution in this particular industry is working, the cybersecurity framework which has been proposed by CB is really a good thing which can help them to protect the data and their systems. I don't think so there is something required over and above to that. uh, Gaurav, what was the second question he asked? Sorry, actually, second part of it.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, how to manage related impact more effectively than learning on the curve.
Yeah, so for that actually you require to do a lot of like I will say that you have to participate in a lot of forums, you have to participate in a lot of places where you can get the latest information, or even if you can go on, there are a lot of online forums are as well available nowadays wherein you can participate. CyberFrat is one of the great community which is actually helping the persons and the institution to give a lot of new age and immediate information. So you have to be part of such kind of a forums, and that will help you to get the information about what is happening in the cyber world, what is happening in the cyber security domain, or even in the technologies, and it can help you to keep yourself updated. Most important thing is that you can how you can actually upgrade your delta. See, when we are actually living in the cyber world, that delta is very high actually compared to the other industries. If you are working in say software development, the delta will always remain in the range of 5 to 10%. But in the cybersecurity world, the delta always remain more than 20-25%, because the challenges are very high challenges, and there are always new things which are coming. So it is very important for you or even me also to keep myself learning and understanding what is new which is happening in the industry, keep myself updated, and keep my learning curve always ahead, so that I can be up to the highest level. That is what I can say about it.
Thank you, Amit. Umesh, if you have anything, just raise your hand. I'll do. I think, Amit, there is one question. I think exactly two I missed in. I hope you have that space. So I think these are the short ones. Not will not take much time. So, any certification available for organization? We are aware of ISO 27001. Apart from ISO 27001, any other
uh,
certification you can suggest for organizations?
I don't think so there are any other certifications are available apart from ISO 27001. There are frameworks which are available, like if you are in a in a health industry, you have HIPAA. Then if you are in if the industry specifics, a lot of frameworks are available which you can work on it. Most important is that for cybersecurity, if you are doing a cybersecurity, then you can also think about NIST framework, which is the best framework which I can say to scale up your cybersecurity domain in your organization. Then there is something like COBIT also is there, which is also a framework. So these are the frameworks. But if you really want a certification, then ISO 27001 is the only certification what I know, uh, and which is also globally accepted.
Okay, thanks, Amit. And for sure, now this is a last question from Hetu. And after that, if anyone has any question, you can put it on Twitter, or you can, write to me. I'll pass on to Amit, and whenever he replies, it will do that. But Twitter is the best forum where you can go hashtag CyberFrat, hashtag CXO Connect, and hashtag Ask Amit. So we'll ask Amit to, read those questions, and he will reply. And also, next sessions I've just posted in the chat window. I see people are leaving. So today 7 p.m. we have Python, and as well as tomorrow 7 p.m. we have fraud detection with artificial intelligence. Do join in. And the last question for today, Amit, for you is from Hetu. He says, I have 4 years of SOC engineering experience, looking to go for cloud or forensics. So for career progress, it is good to be on the same profile. So I think if you're more Hetu, I don't know if you let me know if you want me to unmute you. If you want to be more specific, or Amit, if you have got the question, you can reply.
I think Hetu have raised a hand.
Yeah, I am unmuted him.
Hi,
Hetu,
Gaurav.
go.
Hi. Yeah. So, actually, I have 4+ years of experience in SOC engineering and SOC also. So, I want to move to cloud security or forensics. So, what do you think? If you continue the career in the same field, same profile and you good, or you can move to some other profile and as well career progression?
Actually, I could not hear you, Hetu, properly, but I only heard that you are in SOC profile since last 4 years and you wanted to move to cloud. See, cloud is something really very good platform which is shaping up, and in fact, it has shaped the world in a totally different manner altogether. And probably, if I look at cyber security 2 years down the line, I think probably everything will happen on the cloud front itself, because most of the organizations are adopting cloud, and the cloud journey is really fascinating journey. There are a lot of things which are going to happen in cloud, right from application development till security. So it will be definitely a good move if you are thinking about from progression from SOC to cloud. But I will also suggest you one thing, that apart from cloud security definitely you can consider about it, but you can also think about, because you have a good knowledge in security SOC profile. So overall I have seen that key SOC guys usually get a lot of learning from the other domains as well, like application security or network security or even the rest of the part of security. So apart from, and even cloud security, one of that. So apart from that, you can also think about a security architect profile. This particular profile is a very niche profile, and which I also emphasized in my presentation some time back. So this particular profile will also is going to have a very high level of exposure in the near future. If you can go in the Western world, security architects are the one who are really very highly paid compared to the other profiles. So I think, I personally feel that the kind of knowledge which you are having right now, and the kind of aspirations which you are having, you should definitely consider, apart from cloud, you should also think about security architect as one of the profiles.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Amit.
Thanks, Amit. Wonderful session, wonderful question and answers. Amazingly, you handle everything. And frankly speaking, I can, this inaugural session, I can say this is a pretty much a big success. Sunday morning, we had 50 plus people joining, and I need to see from the Zoom. Actually, I think the overall count will be 70 plus, but 50 plus at a single time, and that's a huge success. Thanks for making time for us and coming for this session, and for everyone on the call. So next, stay tuned for the next CXO Connect. And anything last words from you, Amit, and then I'll just.
Yeah. So I'm really thankful to the CyberFrat community. Really thankful to Gaurav, Ajay, and the entire management of CyberFrat for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with the CyberFrat community. It was really an amazing session. I also had a lot of learning from you all guys, and I will continue to be part of CyberFrat whenever Gaurav asks me to do something new.
There's no need to ask you, just be part here. You come anytime.
Yeah. So and best of luck to all of you guys. Really very nice. I know that this community is growing very in a big way. So best of luck to all of you. Let's do a good work. Best of luck to Gaurav and team as well. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you. Thanks for so nice word. We'll keep
Yeah.
connected. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and stay tuned for other sessions. Please spread the words, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and let this community grow. So people, if the people know, if the people hear from you, they will also join and take leverage of these sessions. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye. Take care.